Hello, Third and Lindlsey. How's everybody doing? Can we give it up for our glorious leader, Mr. Ray Benson, one more time? I'm so honored to be a part of Lightning Management in an industry where sometimes there's not all that many things to believe in. I believe in that very thoroughly. Friends, my name is Willi Carlisle, and I'm a folk singer. I'm going to take a few risks up here today. I just came in off of the long drive from West Virginia today. I left at 2 in the morning, and I got here right before Clint did our lovely little sound check. And I stand in front of you in barefaced effing awe at the marvelous nature of our biodiverse, regionally, ethnically diverse country, because I've seen about half of it in the last 24 hours. But towards that end, I want to start off with a traveling song here with my friend Sophie. This is called A Higher Lonesome. I've been turned around in Tidewater, all alone in Pueblo. Been driving with a death wish down the mountains on my phone. Half the places I've been might be laced with psilocybin. Been dreaming of a country I saw at the rodeo. Back to bowling the Bojangles, cause Tennessee's so cold. Charlottesville by sundown's a nightmare to behold. There's an old-time dame with a twisty name, I couldn't read it if she wrote it. Got a black powder revolver, wants to see if it's still loaded. I've been called by a higher lonesome than low as low can be. You can write it on my tombstone, outlaw life looks pretty wholesome when you pay the price in foolishness it takes to get you free. Higher lonesome, kill the bitter parts of me. And Al-Anon, they all know how I felt for you. Felt it in my guts before 2 steps in Philadelphia. With every coin the joiners get, they're farther from the pain of it. All the hurting that we did, it's a shame no coin will pay for it. Think I fell in love again on a walk in City Park. Jodorowsky on the tiny screen and second base by dark. And I figured I should let it go or give it a couple days. Ton of pricks in Minneapolis, she don't know my last name. I've been called by a higher lonesome than low as low can be. You can write it on my tombstone, outlaw life looks pretty wholesome when you pay the price in foolishness it takes to get you free. Higher lonesome, kill the bitter parts of me. Saw the darkness coming at me in a Jeff City motel. There was writing on the mirror, said you messed up, so go to hell. And Cormier's pills were on me still, and her letter just half read. By the time the sun was up, I just got breakfast instead. I wish I could call the old folks that aren't with us anymore. I feel Granny dancing recklessly at the Floyd Country Store. And the artist has his suffering, and the gods will have their pain. By the time the ride is over, I'm sure I'll ask to ride again. See the snowfall in Wyoming, strung out on Jono's Cove. Leave a mailbox in Nebraska, so I know that Laura knows. She can write a letter once a year and say that we're still close. I can put my sins on Benjamin and hear the songs he wrote. I don't want to hit rock bottom just to see how deep it goes. Shine light on 6 feet under, so I ain't afraid to go. Proving fact it is as lovely as can be. Higher lonesome kills the bitter parts of me. I've been called by a higher lonesome. Higher lonesome, kill the bitter parts of me. Higher lonesome, kill the bitter parts of me. We're going to take some risks. We're going to do some and new songs. We're going to do them all out of order. We're not going to tell any of the stories in the appropriate way. I'm going to try. I refuse to be a ruly member of Americana Fest. I hope to be unruly if I can. Out there at Healing Appalachia, where I was just playing, it was a great example of how a festival can be organized around mutual aid, you know, around helping people. And right before that, I played a smaller festival called Mend the Hills in North Carolina that was also built on the same idea. And so now I just kind of want to spread the message that if you're running a festival out there, like, why don't maybe like lock in with some mutual aid organizations? Even if you just have some punks running the Food Not Moms thing, you know what I mean? It's like whatever it is, like you can do it. It's very doable. I try to show up every place with my own individual mandate to try to love everybody. I fail at that every day. I fail to love everybody every day as much as I've tried to love everybody. My various subscription to dating websites might suggest I fail to love everybody every day, even if I try. There's only one group of people that I still hate in the world, though, and it's sleight of hand magicians. And so I've been trying to make peace with that, and every time I try to make peace with something, I write a song about it. This is my song for sleight of hand magicians, and the magic that we lose in the world when we hate things. It's called Tulsa's Last Magician. Tulsa's last magician got his start at 4, pulled a quarter from his own ear and spun it on the floor. Said there's no good tricks but old ones, and lying ain't that hard. So he saved up all his quarters and he bought a deck of cards. And he learned ragtime piano, though his teacher thought him slow. He got a black belt in karate from a pawn shop video. And he'd practice all his worst mistakes in a dirty bathroom mirror. Oh, and when his parents drank, he learned to disappear. And his classmates thought him funny, good at sleight of hand. But he had this grand finale and they just couldn't understand. Oh, it's hard to tell the whole truth of a family shot in half. That's why Tulsa's last magician left his home so fast. Oh, down and out in Reno, he went broke in Santa Fe, turning tricks on Los Sueñeros out in California. When they pushed him up against the wall, said, buddy, get a grip. So he learned to set himself on fire on the Las Vegas Strip. And he wandered down to Tampa, blew everybody's mind, 'cause the crowd was cheap and easy there on beer and blowing wine. They said, I wonder where my dollar went, had the flower bloom so fast. Said, I can't reveal my secrets, they rarely failed to ask. Yeah, the crowd all thought him funny, good at sleight of hand. But he had this grand finale and they refused to understand. They demanded explanation when the card pulled was their own. And that's why Tulsa's last magician lost his faith and headed home. Learned computers like his second foster dad, and free range all the rabbits that were living in his hat. His investments all went swimmingly, had the cash on hidden strings. His promotions were a certainty, could make the numbers sing. Now time and space is easy for magic to control. Still it was 40 years of working before he noticed he was old. Now his great escape and act is just untying both his shoes. And most days he's in his easy chair yelling at the news. And the weatherman is funny, talking with his hands, but black clouds are coming in. No one understands how somebody's true religion is always someone else's joke. And that's why Tulsa's last magician kinda just went up in smoke. Friend, if you're the kind that thinks no one quite gets quite who you are, like you're a cobbler or a mechanic in this age of flying cars, if you think that you see right behind what's right before our eyes, you might be a small town's last magician in disguise. And we need you to be funny, be good at sleight of hand. There's a grand finale we can't hope to understand. There's a 1 in 52 chance. It's real magic and it's true. Won't you please help us believe? Won't you please help us believe in you? Thank you so much, friends. It's almost like the magic's been inside of us all along, god dang it. Just waiting to be unlocked and making, and we're only avoiding it because we're afraid of what other people might think, right? To put up instead of shut up about acts of bravery, I want to do a couple from a new record that I'm working on, just for fun right here. This is my artist at large, Sophie Wellington. And we're going to do a song about being a person of size. Everyone, whether you know it or not, you are a person of size. You have a size. But this is about the particular conundrums of being a enormous individual. This is a song called Sadly Enormous, Enormously Sad. Sadly enormous and enormously sad. Tiny chair, tiny table, tiny coat, tiny head. Been hard to fit in, but it's bigger than that. To be sadly enormous and enormously sad. Well, I got a concussion from a low door jam, from a low light fixture, from a low ceiling fan. Wanna wander the world like it might be my friend, not looking for ways it can kill me again. And everywhere that I go, I've been seen as tough, good for reaching high things, good for carrying stuff. But the weight that I carry is always too much, and the hole in my belly just never fills up. Now I'm sadly enormous and enormously sad. Tiny chair, tiny table, tiny coat, tiny head. Been hard to fit in, but it's bigger than that. To be sadly enormous and enormously sad. I dreamed around midnight I truly had died. to fly, but I'll sit on your shoulder and give you advice. How you always do wrong when you ought to do right. Now everywhere that I go, they don't know my name. It's always big guy and hoss. Look out! Goddamn! Then my ass breaks a chair and I get up in shame. And all of my small friends won't call me again. Now I'm sadly enormous and enormously sad. Tiny chair, tiny table, tiny coat, tiny head. Thin heart to fit in, but it's bigger than that. To be sadly enormous and enormously sad. Be sadly enormous and enormously sad.
That's funny, dear. Where you going?
Good, yeah. Get out of here. Well, hey, I want to do another brand new one just for fun. I want to have fun. And it's fun to be silly, and I like making mistakes. And believe it or not, I figured out that's how you'll learn, is by making a whole lot of mistakes. So if any of you are looking to book a new artist and ready to make some mistakes, here I am. I've been thinking a lot. I used to live in a town called Hogeye in Arkansas, and you're not from Hogeye, right? You just say it made a noise. Okay, cool, right? Okay, nice. All right. Forgot we're in public. Excuse me. So Hogeye was next to Bug, and Bug was where you had to go to get any services. And then Bug was close to Prairie Grove, unless the person from one of those places who's not from one of those places can correct me. So you get what I mean. It was way out there, right? And in Hogeye there was this guy that was driving his truck around, and on his truck was written the phrase, "No fancy slogans, just good work." And then if you called him up, he would pick up the phone and say, "This is no fancy slogans, just good work." I thought that was so fucking funny, because it was a fancy slogan. And I was telling a buddy about it, and he was like, "Man, that guy is not just a regular Bubba, that guy is a universal Bubba." And I was like, "What is a universal Bubba? Tell me." And he said, "It's a guy that can't just fix anything, he can fix anything in the whole universe." So I thought if that wasn't a good concept for a new folk song, I didn't know what was. This is called the Universal Bubba. Got to make sure I'm out of tune here, excuse me. I'm not at least a little bit out of tune, I lose my folk singing license. Nice, okay, perfect. Well, tell me, goddammit, when the world gets soft, you can roll up your sleeves, you can cut them off. A clean oxy script ain't a real windfall, and no one ought to die in Wichita. So you get up in the morning at 6:04 to meet this asshole at the hardware store. Make good times till the good times are gone, and boogie to the rhythm of the reggaeton. And you play all night and die full of sin. And what a friend we have in Jesus for your mom and them. Oh, fuck a blues lawyer with his nice guitar. I don't play covers, I just play songs that go hard. Cause the roadside preacher saves the right souls, the barroom picker saves the right bones. The old folks know enough's as good as well. And most of the things worth doing in this age of Babylon, it takes a universal Bubba doing it for himself. Sister Sally didn't work today. She's locked up in her room with her enemy. A deadly romance on the dog-eared page, in love with her beauty cause it's gonna fade. Telecaster, teenage queen, a soul member of the underground hardcore scene. Kamikaze mission on a mission trip. Christian girls left her with a busted lip. And she likes the sound of the rattled windows, plays I Hate God, George Jones and Merle. She's a beauty shop rumor, she's a backseat tryst, making babies with the small town Satanists. Making babies with the small town Satanists. Cause the roadside preacher saves the right souls, the barroom picker shakes the right bones. The old folks know enough's as good as well. And most of the things worth doing in this age of Babylon, it takes a universal puppet doing it for herself. Make a living on a couple hundred steers, so the government got him a new John Deere. He'd pull you from the ditch when the weather got weird, and all his people live a couple miles from here. And he says that what he's most proud of's not the family he raised, not the woman he loves, not the bullets he dodged in 71, but to see his picture hanging at the Eagles Club. Yeah, to see his picture hanging at the Eagles Club. And I've heard him say, life's too short. I'm pretty sure that's because he knows that it's ending. Seen too many good old boys with 2 or 3 kids. I'm pretty sure they're fucking sick of pretending. And he's ripping my heart out, tearing the parts out of a rig that Uncle Sam owns. That lucky son of a bitch got Bitcoin rich. Can't stand to leave the casino. So won't you turn it up to 11? Won't you do this beer with me? You know that most of us won't make it in the minor league. When it all goes to rust, when my engine blows up, I hope you open up the hood and plainly see that the Lord made a universal Bubba out of me. Cause the roadside preacher saves the right souls, the barroom picker shakes the right bones. The old folks know enough's as good as well. Most of the things worth doing in this age of Babylon takes a universal Bubba doing it for himself.
Let's see. I'd like to do this one for terrible fathers. You know who you are. A lot of you of that age in here. I wrote it really with my own father in mind because we were about to lose him. And the son of a bitch pulled through. Which means that you have to sing the song in front of your dad. It's like playing a song in front of your girlfriend and being like, baby, I've been cheating. I keep stealing $20 from her wallet when she's in the shower. So it was awkward, but it made us closer. And it helped me understand a little bit more where he was coming from. And which is to say, if you don't just have a terrible father, or if you're not a terrible father but just have a terrible father, well then you can show them this song and see what they think. It's been a decent litmus test for me so far. It's called The Arrangements. It takes place at a funeral.
He was dead inside my head long before he died. So making the arrangements felt natural, felt nice. No medicine for saving him from cigs and booze and salt. Feels pretty nice to say I thought his sadness was my fault. So let's pour one the bastard. Even assholes need their friends. You can pour your drink out in the sink. You got the last laugh in the end. I hear his drunk footfalls through bedroom walls, find comfort in the sound. But he's gone, and I'm my own father now. Oh, I'm my own father now. I was drooling, I was foolish. The first time that you saw me, I said your eyes were like a Jersey cow, your tongue so clean and country. In all those drunk disasters, did you ever feel the same? Do you think I want these feelings? Chose my face or chose my name? So don't ask about blame or forgiveness. It's still sad when bad love dies. You think I'm full of shit and you're over it. Take the last word in my pride. 'Cause I'm my father's spitting image, and I spit upon the mirror. So the old man is still here. And I know that I will go soon. My heart's also not that strong. Got written in the stars about 1,000 light years long. But I feel it all start to dissolve in a cemetery's rain. And I know about 1,000,000 men that feel about the same. So let's pour one out for the bastard. It's still sad when bad men die. Or you can pour your drink out in the sink. Go on and live your life. All the arrangements are in order. I might buy the bar around. 'Cause I'm my own father now. So don't ask about blame or forgiveness. I'm not one for choosing sides. He was full of it, and I'm over it. I'm glad that I'm alive. I see the earth did not crack open, that no one opened up the clouds. It's all right, I'm my own father now. Oh, I'm my own father now. Oh, I'm my own father now.
Got time for just a couple more here. Let's I tried to move out onto an intentional community, and when I did, I started going to church again. Anybody discover returning to church after a long absence from it? We've got a couple of you. Same person is from Hogeye. Cool. Nice. We have the same issues, which is to say, it was weird. And the reason I started going initially was because Mimi would not give you lunch if you did not go to church. So hungover or whatever, you had to go to church. And the lunch, her and Aunt Jen made lunch so well that it was like I just had to go. And then I started getting in interesting arguments and enjoying singing the hymns there. I love the singing out of this little Baptist hymnal, the Heavenly Highways hymn. And I sang a lot in this little church, Izzard County, Arkansas. And I wanted to write a hymn that was going to make some of my arguments for me. You know what I mean? Maybe try to speak the language of some of the arguments that I was trying to make. So this is a hymn that I wrote called I Want No Children. And it's based on the idea that I don't want children. And that maybe the baby Jesus in the state should be all right with that. 1, 2.
children. Mama says there's still time yet. I want no kith, no kind, no future when I don't love what I am. They say that mankind hath dominion over sea and land and air. I think it's love that we are made of. That's the measure of a man. I want to tower over no one, grind no bones to make my bread. There is no real love that you control of. I want to free all that I can. The truth is that I want no children, no earthly kin to call my own. I feel the ghosts of my creation. Kill my name, call me home. Kill my name, call me home. Kill my name, call me home. Well, get a pension in honor, down and back for silver dollar. It's a pretty big hog, a pretty small pay, down from upriver in the snow and the rain. Working for a living is a pretty raw deal, and Jesus on the main line is hell on wheels. Whoa, ball that jag. Till my money comes back down on the down to the down and back. I'll be right here till my money comes back. Won't you cut all the timber, slide all the coal, or half the West Virginia's a fishing hole. Big mama sitting on the pickles in a pan, you can't get to heaven in a big black Benz. Whoa, ball that jag. Till my money comes back down on the down to the down and back. I'll be right here till my money comes back. So I'm gonna vanish in the woods without a damn trace. I'll never forget, oh, what's his face? Small town gospel, the wrath of God. Say, finish, cut bait, spare me the ride. Whoa, ball that jag. Till my money comes back down on the down to the down and back. I'll be right here till my money comes back. I don't wanna be sad, ain't if I'll try. The designated hitter is a goddamn lie. All I doing between done and needs to between a crazy old man and a messed up kid. Whoa, ball that jag. Till my money comes back down on the down to the down and back. I'll be right here till my money comes back. Whoa, ball that jag. Till my money comes back down on the down to the down and back. Be right here till my money comes back.
Well, okay, we got time for one more here. So, friends, one of the hardest things I ever did was try to move on to an intentional community in very rural Arkansas. When I arrived out there, I found that there were a bunch of ways of thinking that had been cut off from my mind. And so much of what we do in folk and Americana music is trying to open our minds to other ways of living, right? People whose lives we couldn't possibly have experienced, right? Writing from a perspective of compassion, or writing about an older time that you were never in, that has been aestheticized through a process of historicity where certain things get put in and underlined and other things get left the F out, right? Which is to say, once I got there, I realized how many experiences of my own were built around prejudices about places that had been deprived of social and civic services for like 100 and some odd years, right? So when I got out to this intentional community, all the anarchists that lived out there were very disorganized. But they had access to parts of my mind that had been closed off because it was filled with like episodes of SpongeBob SquarePants and like, directions to the mall and stuff like that. Maybe whether or not the McRib is approaching or receding, right? I learned a lot while I was out there. And I want to close on this song that's dedicated to the folks that live out there in this beautiful community called Meadow Creek, called Critterland. And I wrote this song after this game that we used to play called Critter Critter, where if you were driving around on a back road and you saw a little critter crossing the road, you could point at it and say, Critter Critter, and if you're the first person in the back of the truck to do that, you got to pass out somebody in the back of the truck would have to take off an article of clothing and chug their beer. So if you need a game to play driving down Gallatin Pike at full blast, there you go. Here it is, Critter.
Well, I could have been a businessman. I was too hot-headed, plus I never had the money. Plus I kinda got arrested. My sweet old folks thought I'd make a pretty decent one of those. And I still live the kind of life where people judge on your clothes. Now it's 40 miles of back road on all-terrain tires. That little blue hymnal sitting open all the while, singing songs to a God I've met but do not know, making wagers on the critters that we'll see crossing the road. Yeah, the sparrow on the wing taught me to find you, and the possum knows her own mind more than I do. I'm here for all the love that I can't stand. Take me to Critterland. In the decade of our loving, we've grown to not so young, come to know the seasons by the lashing of your tongue. But the propane gently sputters, there's spring water in our tap. Why can't we feel the peace of the sweet dog upon our laps? Oh, the granny witch and herbalist have remedies for us. It's a tincture and a prayer poured down the holler of our guts. On a homestead in the pine beds, we've grown our holy power, oh, laying bare like critters there, out by loving I've heard. Yeah, the sparrow on the wing taught me to sing too, and the possum keeps her young closer than I do. I'm here for all the grief that I can't stand. Take me to Critterland. Oh, I never thought I could love like this. You might call me a queer or a communist, but I'll go along to get along, darling. It feels so right. 'Cause why have a God if no one is saved? I think love is a burden. If it ain't brave, I'll live and die forever there, right there in that divide. 'Cause it's hard to say what I have learned from all these hills and hymns. We're dying and we're singing, I love you and we've sinned. And when marauders come, 'cause the apocalypse is nigh, I want my rifle on my shoulder, my lover by my side. I want to be the kind of man that might stand his ground and die. Take my fiddle and my good hat, I'll go out in style. Gonna do it for my family, not for glory or a god. In the war that's raging between the haves and the have-nots. Yeah, the sparrow on the wing taught me to fight for you, and the possum keeps her teeth sharper than I do. You should bury me where I make my last stands, at the Battle of Critterland. Friends, my name is Willi Carlisle. It's just great to be here. It really is a question that I have for the rest of Americana folks is, do you want this kind of music to be outlaw bullshit rehashed? A bunch of people playing Waylon and Willi covers and trying to be something that they have already been for 30 or 40 years? Or do you want it to be, on the other hand, a cottagecore representation of a false nostalgia for a history that was problematic but we can look at with rose-colored glasses for the rest of our lives? Or the third secret option, where we can have it be a representation of an emerging vernacular culture, a way to create solidarity and community between ourselves and each other, and a way to vote for the human spirit in every single goddamn election, regardless of where we've been or where we're going. That's the one I recommend, and that is why I'm here for all the love that I can't stand.